reality in yourself is separated. You're not keeping it connected. So you are not, your body is here, but you are not here. Let me see, I start like this, pounding, maybe you will wake up. Welcome to you. Are you sleeping? Wake up. Okay. How are you doing?
Fine.
Welcome to you.
Thank you.
You see, John is alive. As soon as I say something to him, he jumps.
Yeah.
Yes, let's hear what our Shaykh is going to say to us. Our Shaykh is speaking. His words are for past, for present, and for future. If we take it, he will put safety to us in dunya and akhirat. If you don't take it, what happens? Not only you don't take it and you suffer, you're going to be responsible. Saying there was somebody reminding you about Allah and His Prophet and about Akhirat, and you became heedless, careless, you didn't care, you didn't look after. What was for you? It was for us. You know, so many saying, I wish to be in the time of the Prophet, and what we were going to do if we were in his time. Are we going to be, you think that we will be like the Sahabi, just sacrificing everything for the Prophet? Or the ones that they were going back and forth? Or the ones that they were munafiq? Or the kafirs? We must be sincere with ourselves, to turn back to ourselves to say, I am living for this. Once you know what you're living for, then even if it's wrong, we may work on it to change it. But if the man, he doesn't know why he's living for, and he's not sincere with himself, then it's dangerous, he's there. Welcome to you. Salaam alaikum. Sit.
This is Sohbet from my Grand Shaykh, Kerim Muhammad Nazim al-Khani, January 20th, 2010. Just 30 SAD. Madad ya Rijal Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Madad ya Rijal Allah. Madad ya Sultan Allah. We are asking heavenly support for this humble meeting. We must always ask for support. Really.
İlâ şerefin Nebi Mustafa sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem. Ali ashabil ve kiram meşayihine tekrar söylüyor. Şah Muhaddin Muhammed Reisi Buhari Sultan Eşhedü Sultan Evliya Kıbrisi İslam Sahibu Zaman Şeyh Mevlana Muhammed Nazım el-Hakkani. Fatiha. What we understand from this Sohbet. Sohbet is to understand, to know, and to apply. Oturma Buda gibi karşımda, geç köşeye Buda oturacaksın. Üst kere söylüyorum, beni Buda gibi dikiliyorsunuz. Öyle estağfurullah. Anyone wants to sit like Buddha, they must sit on the corners, not front of me. Sit nice and humble. Humble meeting must be, every action has to be humble too. And this is what we have lost. And this is the Sohbet is. Why Muslims they lost? Muslims they fail. Still they praying, so many. So many Hafiz in the world today. Maybe more Hafiz today than from that time. From the time of the Holy Prophet, alayhi salam. Don't you think so? Yeah, there is. But Muslims, although that they still also in number, there is so much, but they are no good for nothing. As Shaykh Mevlana is saying, when they were holding tightly to the law of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Sultan who was ruling, and he was a Khalifa of Islam, ruling the whole world. If somebody mentioning the Prophet's name next to him, he was standing up for the law of the Prophet, the respect of the Prophet ﷺ. So that to teach you and I, to everyone, if it's not the law of the Prophet inside of you, you are a dead person. Your heart is dead. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to lead you anywhere. How it happened? Yeah, the people, they were in the desert and they lost that law. The law they didn't have anymore because they were so cruel that they buried their own children alive into the sand. Are you understanding a little bit something? Are you putting yourself into that situation to understand? Look at your little girl, and to say, when he's reaching to 8 years, 10 years old, it has to be, this is that kind of tradition they make to themselves, thinking that we have to bury this child, we have to kill this child, and the father has to do it. If he's not doing it, then he loses his honor in the community. People, they looking down to that one. The Sahaba came to the presence of the Prophet ﷺ and saying, Ya Rasulullah, this is what I did in the Jahiliyyah time. And when I went to bury my child, and she has fallen, and she grabbed my pants, and she was saying to me, Father, pick me up, because I see that your pants got dirty from the sun. This way when I come out to clean it for you. And he said, I had no heart. And I stepped on her head, and I buried her. And after coming next to the Prophet, ﷺ, his heart started melting from the law of the Prophet and understanding what kind of crime he did. And he was saying and crying. And the Prophet was saying to him, cry. Much as you can, cry. And he was saying to him, reminding him all the time, say what you did. Other Sahabis to hear. Second Jahiliyyah is going to be worse than first. We are in it now. That kind of love is gone. Because people, they lost the love understanding. They lost their Prophet. Only copy people making, soon as we say, because we're teaching, soon as we say Prophet ﷺ, they put their hand to the heart. Why you think is that? They're just copying. That they have so much love to the Prophet ﷺ, Sahabe Kerim, and they were seeing the Prophet there. And every time his name was mentioning, their heart was jumping out. So they were holding it like that. They were holding their heart because the heart was jumping out. So they were holding their heart. So now, if you don't go back to that, if you don't go back to the law of the Prophet ﷺ, don't expect that paradise. It is forbidden to those people to enter to that paradise. And how are we going to know that love? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us a lesson. He's mentioning the bees in the Quran Kerim. There are so many animals, it's only several of them he's mentioning. And one of them is the bee, and the bee is getting inspiration. Bee is an animal that is getting inspiration. Do you think you're getting that inspiration? Muslims, where is your inspiration? You are not that much like a bee. You must get the inspiration. But you block yourself. You disconnected yourself from the divine and the heavenly love. Only know people today claiming I am in divine presence. I have divine light coming to me, but it's still they are black and dark. No love coming out from their face. Ugliness coming out. The bee. If it's 1 billion bee, without the queen bee, it's no good for nothing. Has to be a queen. And all the bees that they work outside, they collecting from the tree, from the flowers, and they come back to their hive, and to put it inside that honey that they are collecting. First they are taking from that flower, and there's a poison there too. They are eating, they finishing it, they separating the poison, and they coming and they putting the honey inside the hive. Those working bees that they go back and forth, in and out, they are living 8 to 10 days. They are alive. 8 or 10 days. Not more than that. The bees that they are working inside, they are living 8 months to 10 months. Because their job is to cleaning the honey that they are putting, the other ones coming, cleaning the honey that they are putting inside the hive, inside that holes there. They are taking them, eating them, separating again second term now, taking the other poison under their body, and they turning it around and they putting it back in there complete and pure. And they are taking the pure honey, what you call to that one? Royal jelly. The
queen bee's food.
That is complete pure. No ordinary bees they eating that. If it's how many bee men? If it's 1 pound or 2 pounds honey, how much comes out from that?
1 drop.
1 drop. And they separating that drop. They piling it up, and they are offering to the queen bee to eat. To say, we are in need of you. Without you, we are no good for nothing. So we must support you. And the queen bee, while eating that royal jelly, the milk, the pure honey, it gives life continuously, and the queen bee lives 8 to 10 years. Generation comes and goes, but the queen bee is living. If the queen bee dies, all those be good for nothing. So their life is connected to that one. That's why they have to work to provide the best to that one, and for that one to live, and for them, for their life to be something, to have value. Muslims today, are they a honeybee? No. Yellow bee. The yellow bee, what it does, it takes and he eats and he goes and stunts to other people. Puts poison only. But the Muslims didn't become yellow pea, became worse than that. Tankibi. There's worse than that. Wake up to yourself. Because Holy Prophet is saying, alayhi salatu wassalam, if you don't say La ilaha illallah, you have not reached to the faith. And you are not entering to paradise. The key to the paradise is La ilaha illallah. Not La ilaha illallah, that this dialogue people saying, Christians and Jews are saying La ilaha illallah, one side saying God here, God there. La ilaha illallah, to believe that there is only one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the creator of all. Says if you are not saying that, you are not entering to paradise. But if you are not loving each other, you do not consider that you have said La ilaha illallah. This is for Muslims. Does Muslims, they love each other today? Ask the question to yourself. You will come out. You will understand. And go to sajda and ask forgiveness. Because if not, you're just going to fool yourself continuously. And when the Azrael is going to reach to you, you're going to lose. And the Holy Prophet saying, alayhi salatu wassalam, I tell you something, that when you do that, then the love will start coming to you. If you don't love each other, you are not entering to paradise. But I'll tell you something, that when you do that, love will start coming to you slowly. It says, give salam to each other. MashaAllah. Believers, they don't give salam to each other in the prayer lines. They don't care the other one's problems. It's not they don't care, they get happy about it. Well, this road, it is very difficult and it's very hard. Without that love, impossible to make it. And if you make it, you are continuing in the wrong road, thinking that you're going to reach somewhere, but the end of the road is disaster. End of the road is leading the people to their, whatever they built to themselves. Of course, 21st century people became so brave. I am shivering all the time when I'm looking at the actions of the people, and I'm seeing and I'm praying for their behalf, but they are not. An incident coming to them, and they are not sitting down to think, why this is happening to me? Why? How is happening? Is this a rahmat to me? Is this a punishment to me? Is this a warning to me? Why is happening? No question. But continuously again, people, they are in trouble left and right. 24 hours a day they are in trouble. Now, they cannot even sleep anymore. The sleeping is haram. 21st century people. The sleeping is haram. I'm talking to believers. I'm not talking to unbelievers. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to strangers. You know what's happening. You cannot say to yourself, okay, Ya Rabbi, I finished my duty today, and now I think I need to rest a little bit. Excuse me. And if I'm going to die, while I'm going to sleep now, if I'm going to die, please rise me as a believer. If I'm going to wake up tomorrow, make me to live for you. And Say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and lay on your side and read couple of surah. Look how fast you're going to sleep. But you cannot sleep. They cannot sleep. They need to get the Yahudi pills. Yeah. The pills that Yahudi made it, saying, take this and go to sleep. Because now you're going to be disconnected even in the sleep from the heavenly stations. Nothing to you. That's what happened to Muslims today. If somebody is saying otherwise, raise your hand. Somebody is going to say otherwise. They must come to tell me. That's how it is. So all that happened because Muslims, they lost that love. And claiming, I love Allah, you are a liar. That's what Allah is saying. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are claiming that you're loving Allah, you are a liar. Saying to us, they came to the Prophet ﷺ, and they said, well, we love Allah. And the ayat came. Say to them, if they are sincere with that, they must love and obey you for Allah to love them. Not only to love, but complete obedience. They must love and obey you for Allah to love them. Otherwise, they are liars. Watch yourself. We must watch ourselves. We must check ourselves. You must take this chance, this opportunity, that it is right now that we are in it, and the opportunity that you and I, we should be very happy. We should be very, to feel that we are very honored, that we have a Shaykh that reminding us, giving us this kind of sohbets. It's not from us, it's from him. And it's not too many left in this world anymore like that. Those who left, they are hiding. They're not coming out to speak anymore. Only the arrogance and the stubbornness, they are up there. And one of the biggest mufti of Syria, just the other day, he said ugly words against to the Prophet ﷺ. What he said, and he himself and the people like that under the feet of the believers. They have no knowledge. That knowledge is not taking them to paradise. So, wake up to yourself. Don't think that the guy has a big turban, or has a jubbah, or has degrees, and has this and has that, and he's going to lead you somewhere. He lost himself. And that's what happened today. Wake up to yourself. If you run around so much too, in Turkish they say, when you run too much everywhere, one day you're going to step on the ship. Meaning that you're going to enter to a wrong place, and little love that you're going to open from your heart to the wrong one, and that one is going to drag you from the right side to the left side. And that's what's happening to people. And either you take lesson or you become a lesson. There is no other way. Another thing in these days, the murids, they are judging the sheikhs. They are testing the sheikhs. Or they are saying, I don't trust the sheikh. Good. Don't trust. The real sheikhs, they don't come to you to tell you, trust me. Don't trust. Take your road and look where it's going to lead you. You will see in the end. So wake up. If you don't have that love, the love of the Prophet in your heart, alayhi, and if you don't have that connector to brought that love to you, to put that spark to you, you can say much as you want, sitting over there to say, I love Prophet. I love Prophet. 24 hours a day if you want. If you make your voice to be heard, that you may say so much salawat to the Prophet ﷺ, and you have reached there, the Prophet ﷺ is going to connect you to someone who's living, that one is beloved, and to give, and to clarify it, and to clean it, what you have right and wrong in your own system. So many claiming, I love Sayyid Abdul Qadir Geylani. So many people think. Then we say, who's your Shaykh? Say, Abdul Qadir Geylani. Say, you are a liar. He is not your Shaykh. You have to have a living Shaykh. You have to have a Shaykh that you sit in front of him and he says to you, do this and don't do that. And when he says to you, don't do this, you have to know that that is not good for you. And you should not be upset and angry to that one. Because that is for you. And if you don't have that one, then you're still running with your ego. And your ego, definitely, when you are following your ego, definitely you didn't say La ilaha illallah correctly. Because La ilaha illallah. Holy Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, now remove all the idols, remove all the ilahs, remove all other lords that you have built to yourself, turn back to Allah. Illa Allah. Saying. And don't think that the idols are only those statues. They are easy. It took only 1 day to take out the statues in the Mecca. 1 day. When they came back to Mecca, centuries, those idols, they were there. And Holy Prophet ﷺ gave orders, saying, clean the Mecca from the idols. It didn't take 24 hours. All the idols has been removed. But the people that they have idolized things in their heart, it took centuries sometimes. And the last idols that it was so big and the huge one, and the Ali radiallahu anh look at the Prophet and saying, Ya Rasulallah, from the respect, saying, step on my shoulder and take that one down, Ya Rasulallah. And the Prophet looked at him and saying, Ya Ali, do you think that you can carry me with the haybat of the Islam, with the haybat of the Quran, with the power that I'm carrying on your shoulder? He says, but you step on my shoulder and you take it down. And the Ali radiallahu anh understand. And he went to take it down. He was shocked. He came down and the Holy Prophet said to him, what happened, Ya Ali? He said, Ya Rasulullah, if you were to say to me when I step on your shoulder, if you were to say to me, take the sun down, I will be able to take the sun with my hand and to bring it down. And the Holy Prophet saying to him, now you know your Prophet? Who is your Prophet? He says, you still don't know. He says, Ya Ali, look at my belly button. Go down and look at up. From the belly button, turn your head and look at up. And he looked. And he said to him, what did you see? He says, Ya Rasulallah, I have seen all the paradises, everything, up to your neck. I didn't know where the head was. I didn't see the head. He says, Ya Ali, look down from my belly button down. He looked down. Says, I have seen all the hells and everything up to your knee. I didn't see where the feet was going. And now he says, now you have seen your Prophet one time. And when Prophet ﷺ, he was passing from this world, and he took one of his jubbah, and he gave to Umar and Ali radiallahu anh. He said to them, take this jubbah to Uwais al-Karani, and tell him to pray for my nation. And Prophet passed from this world, and Ali radiallahu anh, Hazreti Umar, they went to Yemen to find Uwais. And they are asking, and nobody knows. And Umar radiallahu anh saying, Ya Ali, we're not going to find him. Let's turn him back. The Prophet sent us here. He must be here. And the Ali radiallahu anh saying to them, there is a man who everyone is not caring, that he is a simple man and he is a shepherd. And they said, yes, we know somebody like that. He's a shepherd in the mountain. Oh, you're looking for that one, that crazy one. He's in the mountain. And he says, we gotta go to that one. That is the one. And they came. And Ali radiallahu anh and Umar is speaking to him, saying, Prophet have sent us to you. And he said to them, I know. And they give the jubbah, saying that the Prophet said, Ya Uwais, to wear this jubbah and to pray for the nation. And he says, no, I'm not wearing that jubbah yet. He went to sajda, he put the jubbah on his head, and he stayed there. And the Umar radiallahu anh, he was not patient again. And he said, maybe he is dead. And he wake up and he said, Ya Umar, you couldn't wait a little bit more? Says, when I was sajda, I was asking Allah to forgive the nation of Muhammad. And he forgave the 4/3 of them, and he was going to forgive complete of them. But you wake me up from that. And he said to Umar, Ya Umar, how many times you have seen the Prophet? And the Umar looked at it and saying, what kind of question is this? I seen it all the time. He looked at Ali and he says, Ya Ali, how many times you have seen the Prophet? Ali radiallahu anh, his Holy Prophet saying, if I am the city of the knowledge, Ali is the door of that city. Ali radiallahu anh is thinking, saying, Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, for him to send me to this man. This man is full with the knowledge, full with secrets. So he's not asking foolish questions. He asks something. So it must be something very in it. And he said, Ya Uwais, I saw Prophet only one time. And he said, say, when did you see him? He says, when we went to Kaaba, and I said to the Prophet, for the respect, he stepped on my shoulder, and he said to me, you cannot carry me with my prophethood. And I stepped on his shoulder. And that is the time I was ready to bring down the sun. And when I came down, this incident happened, and the Prophet, I have saw Prophet one time. And he said, you are right, Ya Ali. You did see him only one time. Says, Ya Umar, the way that you have seen the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, Abu Jahl have seen too. Abu Jahl was looking at him that way too. So, loving the Prophet and understanding the Prophet, not only to say I love the Prophet. That is the beginners maybe. But slowly, you must go up and up and up. And if you are in the community, if you are in the dergah, if you are around the Shaykh, every day instead of going up, that love to increase, if it's decreasing, then you are in trouble. Don't look something wrong with the Shaykh, something wrong with you. Look at yourself, fix yourself. Something is wrong with you. And fix it. If you don't fix it, you open the door to Shaitan. Shaitan is going to be very happy, of course. Shut down the doors. And shutting down the doors, working against your ego. Something that you don't like it, yes. So, you're going to work against. Shaykh says to you, do this, and you are insisting, saying, no, I think this is this way. Then you are in trouble. So, of course, 21st century people, they became very arrogant, very stubborn, and very ignorant, very selfish. These are not that Islam is accepting. This is not what Prophet came to give to people. He came to give what we have said earlier. He came to make the stones to melt front of him. The stones, the hearts, they turn into stone. And they start melting. And those people, that their heart was like a stone, they turn around with the love of the Prophet ﷺ. They left Islam to us. Islam has reached to us because of them. Because of the submission of the Sahabai Kiram. Because of the love that they have shown to the Prophet ﷺ. Because they have sacrificed themselves, their wealth, their family, everything for the Holy Prophet ﷺ has reached to us. Only thing that we have to do, to turn around, to show the proper respect to them. Nothing else that we have to do anymore. And if not, it's about time, I think Mahdi is coming out soon. And all the scholars, they're going to rise against him. So many's head is going to go. And the Holy Prophet saying, even those ones that they're going to accept him, is still they're going to accept him from the fear. So, I think we have just entered to that too. Whatever you are waiting is going to come. Prepare yourself to see what side you're going to fall. If you don't have that love in your heart, you're not going to fall in the side of Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. If you are not holding tightly, and if you have a tyranny in your heart, you cannot be with that one. Impossible. He's not accepting tyrants. He's coming to destroy the tyranny. He's coming to remove every wrong thing that they have built it under the name of the Prophet ﷺ. He's coming to build the love and the connection again with the Prophet ﷺ. He's coming to bring people back to their human stations. If you want, prepare yourself now. If not, just be like the others one saying, well, I'm waiting for Mahdi and I'm going to go with him. But that time you're not going to go with him. Because when he's taking the takbir, there is no more time for you to prepare. Preparation is now. And takbir means the war begins. Takbir means the kufuris start coming down. Takbir means that every wrong thing is going to come down. So, now is the time to train yourself. And first thing that you gotta do, yes, you gotta connect with that love. You gotta know what the love is. And when you look at others, you're going to feel their pain on yourself. If you don't, you still have tyranny in your heart. You don't feel anything. Your heart became like a stone. Make it softer. If it's not getting softer, then that heart is not good for nothing. Femin Allah tevfik, ve hürmeti Habib, ve hürmeti Fatiha. Amin.